Hello. I'd like to speak about a woman who dared. A woman who dared. And I'm reading from Luke's Gospel, chapter 7, and verses 36 to 39. And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him, and he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat. Talking about Jesus. And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, when she knew that Jesus sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and stood at his feet behind him, weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. Now when the Pharisees, which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, This man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is that touches him, for she is a sinner. For she is a sinner. It all began as a formal meal set up by Simon the Pharisee, perhaps through curiosity or in order that he might study Jesus more closely. And what follows is one of the most touching scenes recorded in the Gospels, which I call getting personal with Jesus. Getting personal with Jesus. After all, what is our relationship with Christ if it is not personal? Verse 37. And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner. Now, we don't condone what she was, but she does deserve our compassion for who she was. Someone in need of forgiveness. We don't know the story of her life or the reason why she found herself in the situation that she did. We do know that she was cast out by society and her self-respect was in tatters. Simon the Pharisee thought to himself, This man Jesus, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is, for she is a sinner. Yet, somehow, sometime, somewhere, on the edge of some crowd, she had heard Jesus speak of sins forgiven and new beginnings. And now she was coming to see Jesus for herself, if he really meant what he said. Verse 37. And when she knew that Jesus sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, she made it her business to seek him out. Listen, she made it her business to seek him out. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Isaiah 55 verse 6. A custom in those days allowed strangers to enter a house where a rabbi was teaching, provided they remained silent and did not approach him. She arrived early and standing by the doorway, maybe in the shade, she spotted her chance. Now Jesus was reclining on cushions as was the custom, and his head was the nearest to her, and his feet the furthest away, and he had removed his sandals. As she approached Jesus, she noticed that something was wrong. Jewish etiquette was not being observed. Simon had not instructed his servants to wash the feet of Jesus or to anoint his head with oil. And neither had he greeted the Master with a kiss, therefore insulting Jesus 3 times by withholding the basin, the towel, and the kiss. The woman carried a flask of costly perfume on a cord around her neck. And she made up her mind to anoint the feet of Jesus. That's what her mind told her. But her heart got in the way. And before she could get the top off the perfume flask, down came the tears. The word tells us in verse 58, she stood at his feet behind him, weeping, and began to wash his feet with her tears. The Greek word breko here implies it was raining tears, raining tears. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 10 says, godly sorrow worketh repentance unto salvation. As the tears ran down her face, they would have mingled with the makeup that she would have been wearing, fouling the feet of Jesus. Charles Wesley, one of his hymns, says, stained with the sins which I have wrought in word and deed and secret thought, for pardon which thy blood hath wrought, Christ crucified, I come. Embarrassed now at having no towel. Remember, Simon had not provided one. She wiped Jesus' feet with the hairs of her head. And in so doing, she had to fall down on her knees before him. She fell down on her knees before him. The greatest compliment a guest could expect to receive was to have his feet kissed by his host. Jesus knew it, and Simon blew it. So she kissed Jesus' feet instead. The Greek there says repeatedly, with humility and reverence. Now she anoints or gently rubs the feet of Jesus with the ointment. This was a perfume known as attar, the 100% natural perfume of the damask rose, the most treasured of all perfumes. Her love for Jesus was as pure and fragrant as the damask rose itself. Verse 39. Simon spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is, for she is a sinner. Jesus knew all right. It doesn't matter what manner our sin takes. Sin is sin, and every sin needs to be dealt with, and every sinner saved, and Jesus is just the one to do it. Verses 48 and 50. Jesus said unto her, Thy sins are forgiven. Thy faith hath saved thee. Go in peace. It is said that in acrostic form the word faith is F, forsaking, A, all, I, trust him. Forsaking all, I trust him. The meaning of faith. Let me read Colossians 1 verses 21 to 22. And you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. This woman, whose name is not recorded in the gospel, now has a new name in glory. The old hymn says, and I close with this, there's a new name written down in glory, and it's mine, oh yes it's mine. And the white-robed angels tell the story. A sinner has come home. Oh, God bless you. Take these words to heart and take the sinner, the saint, with you along the path of life. Let Jesus be our guide.